Hey guys, Wages World here. It is March 4th, 2020. I'm coming at you here with the video. Thank you guys so much for going over and helping Scott and Dr. Albers out. I can't say it enough. I really can't. And anybody that hasn't, that wanted to help and hasn't done it yet, I'll leave the links down here at the bottom of this video to PayPal, his Subscribe Star, which is his private network, where he puts content that he can't put over here. Okay, he's just pretty much point blank. Here it is. This is the stuff. He doesn't get censored over there. So it's a whole different thing, guys. I would suggest going over and doing that because there's a lot of information he talks about over there that he can't say here without fear of repercussion. And then Teesprings. Okay, these are some of his shirts. This is his Teespring. Okay, but what you're going to notice here, before I talk about this though, guys, in my last video, I pinned a comment to the top. It was a comment from Scott, and I didn't ask him to say any of that, anything. And it's a very long comment. But first off, you're going to get to see a side of Scott you don't typically get to see. Okay? It's the softer side of him. He's talking from the heart. That is what it is. And he's just saying thanks. And another thing, guys, when you guys went over and helped him, you were helping me too. Because I wanted to help him more and I just couldn't. And, that's just what it is. So, today I was like, hey, everybody asked me to get merch. I've had a lot of people ask me about that. And I don't monetize. I don't do, the Teespring thing and all that. So I suggested to Scott today, hey, maybe, put something like that together. And he did. So there you go. There's a Wages World shirt if you guys are interested. Again, women's and a men style. If you guys have never been to Teespring, you can actually pick your color of shirt even. Okay? So, you can, again, there you go. Obviously you guys know how to navigate stuff like this pretty much, probably. So you're kind of getting something for trying to help, all at the same time. But again, I'll leave a link to this and a link to his PayPal and his Subscribe Star at the bottom of this video. But yeah, I just thought that was pretty cool. There's some Wages World merch if you want to get it. You'd be helping Scott out at the same time. It's not coming to me. This is something I'm just trying to help. That's all. I do like a lot of these different color choices you can get. I think it's pretty cool. But yeah. So we'll get on to some other stuff here, guys. We got some CMEs and got a CME actually coming at us and some other stuff I want to talk about. The CV conversation. So yeah, we'll get into that. Update on the CV stuff going on. This just came across in Washington County. 2.2 million residents have been told to work from home, and anybody over 60 to stay indoors. Okay, I've been alive 45 years, guys. I've never seen nothing like this inside our borders. Just going to say it. And there's no way to put a positive spin on this. I apologize for that, but not much I can do for that. Also, they said don't lick the ballots. Yeah, don't lick anything. Don't put your tongue on nothing. What they're talking about is either mail-in ballots or they're talking about the ballots at the poll stations where you get the older style where you actually physically write your vote in and then you seal it by licking the adhesive and sealing it shut. I think that's what they're talking about. Now, these official numbers are, even the officials will tell you the official numbers are crap. Okay. My wife went to the doctor today. She has an ear infection and she asked him about this. And what did he say to her? He said, there's no way for us to know because they're simply just not testing for it. And there's a few reasons for that. And there's a lot of different reasons actually. But one of the main reasons is because it presents just like the flu. So this is flu season. So what do you, yeah, we're just never going to know the numbers, guys. I'm not even sure how we could even get an estimate. But to move on from that, LA County has issued a state of emergency because of this. Now, it doesn't mean zombies are walking around in the streets. Let me explain why they do this. It doesn't even have to be emergent, okay? They have to do these things sometimes to get prepared so the state and the federal governments can release funds to them, emergency funds, okay? So I'm telling you all that so you guys can do that for yourself and your local governments. Make sure that they're doing the right things. Okay? That's all I'm saying here. Really. Now, also in New York City, they got 1,000 people self-quarantined because of that lawyer that got the family sick and one of the neighbors. So there's 1,000 people in New York City that are self-quarantined. So yeah, so there's your update on that. I'm gonna move on because we can sit here and talk about this all night and never really get any good answers. So okay, guys, we're gonna talk about Comet Atlas. This is over at spaceweather.com. I'll leave a link and all that, guys. They're talking about Comet Atlas, and what this thing is going to do, it's going to pass inside Mercury's orbit. Okay, and they're concerned. They're not really concerned. They just don't know what's going to happen with this thing as it gets into that intense heat. They're, you know, the coldness of the comet. You know, all those gases and stuff start bubbling and doing all that kind of thing. And they're saying that the brightness of this could really get to like a level 1 star. You know, that's how they rank how bright a star is and stuff like that. You guys can go over here and read all this, but it's pretty fascinating. This was brought up a while back. Here it is right here on this YouTube video. This is what it looked like in 2013. This is, I think this is Comet Pan-STARR, one of the Pan-STARR comets. But we're going to, you know, stereo satellites are going to be able to probably see this pretty good. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to see it from here with a telescope or anything. I think they're saying in this article that it's going to be hard to see. But again, we got our satellites out there that are way more detailed and can zoom in a lot better. But yeah, so that's happening. I thought that was pretty interesting. But we're going to talk about CME and stuff that's going on too. Okay, guys. Now, I got you guys over here at Seeds. Seeds has finally updated a lot of their data, and we've been noticing a lot of ejections coming off the sun virtually almost every day. Now, they're not huge, but they're happening. Okay, and I think that here in the next couple days, we're going to see one actually impact us, and let me explain. I was showing you guys this in my previous video, but this is the one. This is on the 27th. This is where we start talking about, like, you know, the red side here, it's hard to see stuff, right? This is why we like the left side. We don't have to try to draw anything out that's there, but it is there, right? Obviously, you can see. Now, you see the difference. Now, watch when this CME comes off on the right. And then, you know, you can see it real good on the left, but on the right, it is harder to see. All right? But it still happened. That's the whole point. It's still there. It still happened. It's just we can see it from this particular view better. Not view, but they're using this technology. Right? Now, that's the 27th. And I'm going to take you guys day by day here for a second. This is the 28th. Now, what I want you guys to notice, you remember over here, I showed you guys this already. Remember I said outside of this occulter, how it looked like it might have, we've seen some little kind of stuff fading off at the top around almost like a halo. Now what I will say, I want to first give you guys perspective here. The Earth is here. The satellite's here. This is right outside us. This is on SOHO. Alright, this is LASCO C2 camera on the SOHO observatory. Which, that observatory is in space. It's on a satellite. And it's always looking at the sun. So that's the view we're looking at here. Okay? Now, if you're looking at this, like I've explained before, it doesn't look, I mean, you can tell that there's energy coming out, right? But if you look here real close, you can almost see, like, it looks like something's happening, right? Okay? You can see it better on this, is what I'm saying. It almost looks like it just gets kind of faded and hazy. And again, I know it's still kind of hard to see, but it was happening right in there. Okay, so what's happening here, guys? Right? Well, all the energy and the ejections actually right behind or right between the camera and this occulter. Or the occulter and the sun. So, to give you a side view, let me give you a side view of what you're looking at. Okay? Here's the Earth. Here's the satellite, right? The camera is on this satellite with the occulter. Right there. The sun is over here. So if something blew right at this thing, you wouldn't be able to see the main part of it because this black occulter would block you from seeing it. But what you would see is like the halo, hazy looking stuff peeking around the sides. Okay? That's kind of what we're looking at here. That's just the only explanation I can give you guys, really. about why that, you know, when stuff, we don't see stuff, but we actually get impacted. This is why, because we don't see it, but it's still coming at us, right? So we'll go to the next day. This is the 29th. Now this is the one, now you've seen that one. Okay, this is really where it happened. If you guys can look here, you can see it blow like this. Watch. Okay, that's the main CME, but you see all that right there? Let me zoom in. Okay, we'll watch it one more time. Right, starting to happen right there. You see that? And again, I know that it's kind of hard to see. I get that, but it's still there. Okay? That's why I'm showing you guys this, for no other reason, just so you guys can see that. Now, that was on the 29th. It's at the end of the day on the 28th, end of the 29th, and then this other one blew off that direction. You can see. And that's the one that kind of looked like it blew straight off to the left, but it actually blew not just to the left, but towards the back side too. It's actually blowing this way, if you want to look at it. Now, the reason I say all that is because this is two-dimensional. All right? But it's trying to represent something that's happening three-dimensionally. That's why we only get to certain angles, and that's why I showed you guys before why we look on two different satellites, plus the CME tracker comes into play. Okay? That's why. That's the only reason. We can't get a true direction of this just by looking from one satellite. You just can't. That's why we use multiple, and that's why they're there. Right? Now, that was on the 29th. Now, we'll go to the next day. I'm showing you all this because look at even the little stuff that's happening is blowing off this way, right? Stuff is happening every day, it seems like, right now. And I did go back, and historically, statistically, we do see more auroras because we get more space weather through the month of March right now. Now, why is that? I don't know. They just said statistically that it is a little bit more active. Not like a bunch, but they do see more auroras this time of year. I would venture to say it has something to do about, you know, where we're at in our equinox. That's kind of what I think. I could be wrong on that, but now you've seen that, right? This is the one I want to show you because this is exactly what happened back on the 28th that I just showed you guys. There's a CME that happens right behind this. You see that flash? Now, I think Scott did a video on this too. But you can see this. Watch the flash right there. You see that flash? Okay. There was a CME that happened that fired right off at us, and I'll show it to you here in a minute on a different tool. Now, here's the one on the 3rd, and again, there's still stuff going on. Look at this. Okay. Stuff is not slowing down. This is just what's going on. Look at that. I mean, these aren't huge, but, you know, they're probably getting what they call that interplanetary shock wave I was telling you about before. Okay, what that is you got certain particles, solar wind traveling, say it was traveling at this speed or whatever, then what was behind it got fired off and is moving faster, right? So when it catches up to that, it causes what they call an interplanetary shock wave. They don't actually crash into each other, but they're interacting electromagnetically. Their magnetic fields are interacting with each other, and it causes this little extra burst of shockwave energy. Okay? So when that one fires off, and then the one right behind it catches up to it, that's when you see those shock waves. So I do think that that's what we see sometimes when we get these strange little anomalies that happen on our magnetosphere tools. Now here's the 4th. This is just the most updated, and you can see another one coming off the sun there on the left side. I mean, it's just not, right now, it seems to be like active, but not like intense CMEs. Not big, huge, massive ones, just a lot of them. Okay? And I'm just showing you guys that because it does seem like we're active. And historically, I guess we should be. But this does seem to be even a little bit more than that. And we're seeing stuff almost every day. I don't think it really should be like that, but especially during a quote-unquote solar minimum type of situation going on. So let me take you over to CME tracker, and then we'll show you that. Okay, guys, I already showed you guys this once before, but I'm going to show you again, okay? This over here on the left is a top-down view, okay? The Earth is here. Obviously, the sun's here, right? And then if you're looking here in the middle, this is a side view, right? Now over here on the edge, over here, that is this orbit stretched out into a straight line. Okay, it just gives us basically top to bottom depth is what we're looking at there. Okay, so we can get a better angle of what's actually going on. So if we zoom in here and we look at if you look at the timestamp, this starts on the 3rd at the top. Again, this tool right here doesn't do anything unless there's a CME and then it updates. Okay, you can see it. You see the little CME happening about right there. But again, this isn't large or gigantic, but it's still happening. Okay, that's the whole point. Let's zoom in here. You'll be able to see it. Boom. See that? Now, again, we can't tell if it's going to hit the Earth there. It looks like it does, right? But we can't tell if it's going top, bottom, or even a little bit further to the left or right. Right? But on this one, if you look here, we can tell you right now that it's not going too far north or too far south of us, right? Because this is a side view. You can tell that it's going to come right at us, right? At least sideways, that's what it appears to. But what puts the nail in the coffin here is this one. Now, again, this is our orbit. Just for all 3 of these to show that it's hitting Earth, that tells you that this is going to hit Earth. Okay? You can see the haze that happens, the distortion, right there. You see that? Now, again, this is not huge, but it is happening. All right, so we have to know that. Now, we can look at the timestamp and we can watch when that actually hits. Now, it's saying about the 8th. Okay? I don't know what else to say there. About the 8th. 8th or 9th. We don't really know exactly because we won't know how fast this is moving until it hits our detectors. So, it hasn't reached those yet, but we need to pay attention to see what's going on here, right? So, that's happening. Okay, guys, I got you over here at the Magneto Pause tool. Okay, at ISWA. See that? I've noticed something kind of interesting, and I'm seeing it coming and going. But remember a while back I was telling you about a magnetic field, a crack in it, and it happens quite often, okay? But I think I kind of might be seeing one kind of in this position, coming and going. Maybe, maybe not. Just saying it was something interesting that I noticed. Now, you're going to see these colors change, and that's energy, right? Some people call it pressure, some people whatever, density, that kind of thing. But as we rotate through here, if you guys look, like right in here, you're going to see something strange. Now, if we zoom in right there, you can even kind of see it there. You see how there's kind of a void right here? And it becomes really evident when we get hit, okay? Or we experience some sort of magnetic pressure from solar wind or wherever it's coming from. Now, we go through here. I'm trying to do it slow as I can so you guys can see it. And it's just in a couple frames that I've seen, like right there. Okay, that's a pretty good example of it. You see that? Now, again, this is a 2-dimensional model, and it's trying to represent something that's 3-dimensional. So, what I'm saying is, when we get this pressure, the way this model works, this actually could be coming over top of us, and this is the top, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to be bottom, top, or left or right. This is a 3-dimensional thing going on, and this 2-dimensional model is trying to represent it. And it's kind of hard to wrap your brain around that sometimes. But as you can see that right there, you can definitely see that that's a void, because it's circular, which is kind of odd. Because all that, it's like it's a hole. You can see the pressure around it. If it was just solid pressure, it would be the same color as the stuff around it. But it looks as though somehow something is causing something to void out right there. And it's real close to our satellite line. So I don't know what that actually is going on there. Okay? I'm just saying. And something else you're going to notice here. Now I'm going to move the slide bar forward. When we move the slide bar forward, the energy that you see moving here is supposed to be coming from the sun direction. So it should be moving that way. Right? But you're going to see, as I move this thing forward, it's going to look like it's blowing from the backside a little bit inside our magnetosphere. See that? And then you see it get pushed off. See that? It's almost, I don't know what that is happening there. See, watch. See how it looks like it's blowing towards the sun? Okay, I'll start it back over here. Watch it again. See it? Look at that. Ain't that crazy? It's kind of nuts. Then we get hit in the front. See how we get hit in the front and it blows it on back. So I don't know what's going on there. Maybe it just, maybe the solar wind went kind of weak and low for a minute and it allowed whatever pressure we had coming from the other way to kind of push back. Who knows? But anyway, guys, I'm going to end it there. God bless. Yeah, go check out the Teespring site. Got one of my shirts over there now. Again, I did that in an effort to help Scott. If you guys could find it in your heart to go over there and try to help out a little bit there, I would really appreciate it. I know people asked me for shirts before. This is a good way to do it. I'm not getting anything from it. This is for Scott to help him. So if you guys would, go check that out. I'll leave links, guys. And again, God bless. Yeshua saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid.